Unfortunately, getting sick and needing to go to the doctor's office is just a part of life. And if you're in Canada, the US, or the UK, I know it can be even more difficult if English is not your first language. That's why in today's video, I'm going to give you 15 essential English phrases you can use at the doctor's office. My name's Michael Anton, and it's my goal to make you fluent in English fast. Let's get right into the video and look at the first phrase on our list, which is to feel under the weather. Now, this is what we call an idiom. And when we feel under the weather, it means we're feeling a bit sick. We're not feeling very well. Now, keep in mind, we generally only use this idiom when we're talking about less serious illness. If we're feeling really bad, we're probably going to say something else. And we only use this idiom when we're only feeling a bit sick. If you're feeling really bad, you could say you have a fever. Now, a fever is specifically when your body temperature is very high. In Celsius, that might mean 37 degrees. In Fahrenheit, that might mean 101 degrees. So if you're at the doctor's office and the doctor measures your temperature and he tells you that you have a fever, or he tells you that you have a high temperature, this is obviously more serious. If you're really sick, you might also have a cough. And sometimes when you have a cough, you can have a sore throat. Now we can say sore throat, that's very general, but we can also say, and this is an idiom, that you have a frog in your throat. When you have a frog in your throat, it means your throat is a bit scratchy, it's a bit sore. You don't literally have a frog, like the animal, in your throat, but of course this is just an idiom, and it's very common. If you have a sore throat, somebody might say they have a frog in their throat. Now, if the doctor also asks you if you have other symptoms, you might say you have a runny nose. When you constantly have to blow your nose with tissue, this probably means you have what we call a runny nose. You might also be sneezing, and sometimes your eyes might be itchy. Now, moving on to the next phrase on our list, you could also say, I have a headache. Be very careful to pronounce this word correctly. We don't say head itch, we don't say head atch, we say head ache. Now, there are different types of headaches. You can have a minor headache, which is not serious, it's not very bad, we'd say a minor headache. But you could also have a major or even a pounding headache. A pounding headache is when your head hurts so much, it almost feels like something is pounding against it. We would say that's a pounding headache. Now, there are headaches, there are also stomach aches. You could say, I have a stomach ache, or I feel sick to my stomach. However, if you also feel like you're going to throw up, if you're going to vomit, you could say you feel nauseous. Look very carefully at the spelling of this word. N-A-U-S-E-O-U-S. Nauseous. It's common to also feel nauseous if you're on a boat or if you're driving. Maybe the road is very windy, there are a lot of turns. You might feel nauseous. You might feel like you want to throw up. Now, let's say you go to the doctor, your skin is irritated. There are a lot of red bumps on your skin, and maybe it's itchy too. We would call this a rash. You could tell the doctor, I have a rash on my back. And of course, the doctor might ask you, how long have you had the rash for? Is the rash itchy? Is the rash painful? And sometimes rashes indicate allergies. So if you're allergic to something, this means you have an allergy to something. Now, before we continue the video and talk about the next phrases on our list, make sure to subscribe to the channel English at the Ready for more lessons. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok. My username on both is English at the Ready. And if you want to improve your accent and pronunciation in English, make sure to go click the link in the description below and check out my gold package. In the gold package, I'm going to give you video lessons on pronunciation and accent, which will help you speak more naturally. You're also going to get a huge ebook full of different phrasal verbs and idioms for different situations. So make sure to go check out my gold package. You can find the link in the video description below. Now, let's get back into the video and talk a bit about pain. It's quite common to go to the doctor if you feel pain somewhere in your body, but there are actually different types of pain. It's possible to feel a dull pain, and a dull pain is a pain that isn't very strong. You can feel it, it's uncomfortable, and it normally lasts a long time. We'd call this a dull pain. Now, the opposite of a dull pain is a sharp or a shooting pain. You might suddenly be in a lot of pain in one very specific part of your body. We'd call this a shooting pain or a sharp pain. You should also tell the doctor where this pain is coming from, where you feel it. So you might say, I've been experiencing a shooting pain in my lower back. Now, let's say you're tired. Let's say you feel weak and you decide to go to the doctors. You could tell the doctor, I've been feeling unusually tired lately. Now, a synonym of tired is fatigued. Fatigued. So you could say, I've been feeling fatigued over the last few days. I've been feeling tired. I've been feeling fatigued. The doctor might prescribe you medication. So when the doctor fills out some sort of note and you have to go take that to a pharmacy and use it to purchase any sort of medication, we call this a prescription. You might want to ask the doctor, can I please have a prescription for antibiotics? The doctor could also tell you you need to schedule a follow-up appointment. A follow-up appointment is an appointment that happens later in the future after your first appointment. It's called a follow-up. If you want to ask the doctor when this should be, you could say, when should I come back for a checkup? When should I come back for a checkup? Now, if a doctor prescribes you medication, it's important to ask about side effects. A side effect is something that happens when you take a medication that normally is not good. Maybe you feel tired, maybe you feel weak, maybe it's difficult to sleep at night. This is called a side effect. And if you want to ask the doctor about side effects, you could ask him or her, are there any side effects I need to be aware of? Are there any side effects I need to be aware of? If you want to ask the doctor if you need any more tests, you could ask him, do I need any further testing? Or is any further testing necessary? One common type of testing is blood testing, and we call this blood work. So you could ask, do I need to get any blood work done? Do I need to get any blood work done? Now, after the appointment finishes, of course, you want to say thank you to the doctor, also to the reception. You could say, thank you for your help. Or more formally, you could say, thank you for your assistance. Thank you for your assistance. Assistance is a more formal synonym for help. Okay, we've learned a bunch of new phrases you can use at the doctor's office. I've given you some new vocabulary, and honestly, I hope you don't have to use this, but it's always good to be prepared, and especially if you're in a foreign country, I know it can be very stressful to get sick or have to go to the doctor. I hope you found this lesson useful, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to English at the Ready for more lessons. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My username on both is English at the Ready. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.